line, but look at this map control by W. For all these 430 users just in the corner, they're kind of praying that Mafia will make a mistake here, and they kind of have to. But I feel like Mafia don't know, W don't know what they want to do, if I'm honest. Look at the positions of their mediums. They're just driving in circles.
I mean, what are they supposed to do, realistically?
Well, yeah, what are they supposed to do? There's no option. Nice. I think that was a blind strike. Oh no, he was on the strike.
He was on the artillery strike.
Yeah,
so
Rainbreaker.
yeah, but realistically, like, you strike a full HP Batshot to kind of delay an artillery strike for a bit. That shows how desperate W are at this point in time, because that's not going to be netting you a long-term advantage, and also for W, they're not really in any position to get back onto those strikes. And Monster, I don't think for him it's necessarily important to be picking up the strike. For him, it's just a continuous way to draw out W into lines of fire where they don't want to be, realistically. Keep in mind, Mafia also still have a strike in the back pocket. So whenever Mentos gets spotted, he's going to die. That kind of limits the playability for a lot of players. Monster now able to take the strike here even, uncontested. So that's a second strike from Mafia. This means that not only is Mentos now in danger, it also means that Ios has to chuckle and acknowledge the same thing.
Yeah, 3 minutes and 30 though. And W do technically still own the advantage. iDocs takes 1, a little bit lucky to only take 1, so quintuple digits still achieved. But now the info tower is taken by Kono. And
info
now
tower
what?
has been taken.
This is
and
double strike.
Kono. The strike has not gotten used, and I think that was a very smart thing by the players of Mafia. Sorry, by the players of W. If you look to A4.
1 strike used?
1 strike used, and yeah, Mentos does get picked up. You could see it, Mentos was trying to do everything that he could. He was going on to A4 to build a little bit of, you know, potential speed for later on.
Well, it was Kono takes the info tower, Kono places it, then uses the plane to spot out Monster, and then they both go into strike view. One of them places it on the left. If he turns right, the other one places it on the right. So there was no real way that Monster would live there. Nice trading,
Zuzek,
though.
what a team player, by the way.
Yeah, but he didn't really, like, he still took the 750 hit, though.
Yes, but the other shot he didn't take. Like, he saw that his T100 likely wasn't going to make it around the corner for free, so he literally put himself into harm's way just to take the damage with the Type 5 and not take it with a T100, which is exactly what you want to see from a player on the Super Heavy.
Get down, Mr. President.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, right, now we are in the realms of damage dealt. And obviously Mafia have dealt more damage. But they're clawing it back. It was a 5k advantage. Now it's only a 4k advantage. If they can pull it back even more, there is some potential for
the thing is,
W
Kono
to win it, but not that much time.
Kono has a level 3 plane. Kono has an artillery strike, and the strike on the western side is kind of Mafia's for the taking, even though they don't really realize it at this point. But right now, Mafia probably know that they are winning anyway on damage dealt condition. That shot by Orzhek whizzing past, and because Mafia know that they are in the winning condition when it comes to damage dealt, W know that they are in the losing condition, and this means that W, with 1 minute and 18 seconds remaining, do have to make a desperate move. They have to try and find anything, anywhere on the map. They're probably not going to be able to come back with the damage dealt condition. That instead makes it into a tanks killed condition. So now they're trying to collapse onto anything from Mafia. They're hoping for these easy pickups, but perfect plane from Kono once again. Perfect strike as well. That's going to connect on 3. Only one of them able to reduce the incoming damage. You can see how much Itox is bleeding, and he hasn't even made it around the corner properly. Brainbreaker and Lukin now starting to commit in, but who are they committing into? That is a very healthy Type 5. That is a lot of sniping tanks. That is Orzhek to shut him down. And this last final and desperate push by W is just getting absolutely turned asunder by Mafia. Yes, they have split 5 maps before this, but Mafia, the team from Poland, the reigning OLS and WCI champions, are able to hold strong once again against W.
Holding the line, holding strong, and winning it out. This was such a difficult game for W. You know, this push on the CS of Rexar, it found decent timing. Mafia weren't in full position to cover it, but it took them so long to kill Rexar that they managed to actually win it out, and congratulations to them. But this was just a little bit sad in the way that W went out. You know, I feel W could have recovered this a little bit better. But yeah, congratulations to Mafia. They go to the next one. No. I think that they played this round incorrectly. I don't think they should have played this round like this. You know, they tried to catch out Rexar. They did kill him, but the bleed was more than significant. I'd say decisive. You know,
I think the bigger problem was
you see the damage. Look at Itox, 0 in a 10-minute game.
I think the bigger problem, honestly, was that Mafia, from the get-go, essentially, was allowed the info. And as soon as the T100 of Kono picks up the first info tower and pops it, then all of a sudden, W's plan is completely foiled. Because they have no contingency plan in place whatsoever as to what happens after. And Mafia, of course, get the full info. They see where they need to retreat. Well, you could argue maybe, I believe it was Rexar with the CS63 maybe didn't run on time or something like this. But to be honest, Rexar, you see, he does 2.5k damage, so almost his own HP in damage. And then there was so much more that was coming onto the W medium tanks and, importantly, the light tank well.
Look at Kono's assist.
Yeah, it was unrecoverable after this point. Like, yes, Mafia lose the first tank, but I think with this first tank that they kill, W actually lose the game if Mafia don't throw. And
can we check Orzic's pen rate? I'm curious if he penned the HE onto Klurf. I think he did, but
yes, he did. It was like 1100 something.
Yeah. So you look at Kono. That's 10k combined. 2.6 plus 7.6. That's over 10k combined. That's an MVP game right there. But he didn't need to really try that hard for it, right? He just puts the plane down and they get punished. Peeking on Rexar, they get punished after Rexar dies, and even Rexar doesn't trade that bad because he dealt the damage in the beginning onto Brain Breaker. So 2.5 and going down, that's pretty good for the amount they traded. But yeah, you gotta say this was a tight contest between these two, and either of them would have deserved to gone through. But W tried to make the decisive play, got punished for it, and Mafia now in the final against CASHBACK. So congratulations to them, and we've got a banger of a final.
Yeah, indeed. And all of this means that now, in a little bit of time, we obviously need to do the live pick and ban and all of the other stuff before we can start the final. This means that, once again, it is going to be an Eastern European derby, you could almost say, between CASHBACK and Mafia for this, for winning the first event that you actually see here on the screen for you of the AMD Onslaught Summer Arena. But of course, this is far from the end of competitive events that we have coming this year. First of all, in August, or rather in July, we still have the qualifiers, the group stage if you're playing on the North American server, the Swiss stage if you're playing on the European server of the AMD Onslaught Legends Cup number 5 coming up, the finals of which are going to be happening on the 1st and 2nd of August. And of course, those serve similarly as the qualifier for what some consider to be the most coveted event of the year, and that is the one you see in November, the WCI Championship International, which is going to be happening in person in China, of course. And between all of that, we have a lot more of tournament goodness coming your way. In September and October, we'll have the OLS, OLF, OCS, so all of that stuff happening. And then in December, as it is tradition, we will have the Winter Invitational as well. So that's going to be another cross-server tournament. Safe to say that the schedule in this year is looking fuller than ever. And to be honest, I don't mind.
I don't see a rivals in there. Is there a rivals plan?
There hasn't been a rivals in years. So what you're thinking is Clan Showdown.
I don't change. All right, I'm old. When will the next Clan Showdown be? Yeah, I'm concerned.
Let me just tell you, the next one is planned soon. This, of course, the overview that we just saw was basically only for Onslaught-related activities, but for fans of 15 versus 15 action, we have some cool stuff planned as well. That being said and done, Vanta, thank you very much for casting today. I believe we have the replays already ready, but yeah, before you leave us for today, I want to give the last word to you.
The Alienware 15 brings strong gaming performance in a sleek, durable design, built for versatility across play, work, and everyday life. It's an easy entry into Alienware's iconic design and premium experience, proving that an entry point doesn't have to mean an entry-level experience.
This is the world's most advanced processor. In entertainment, its rendering speeds render other processors obsolete. Powers cloud services for billions. Helps change the course of climate change. And uses AI to accelerate disease detection and cures. We make the world's most advanced processors, but only with your vision can we advance the world. AMD. Together, we advance.
AMD Onslaught Summer Arena. Ducky, it turns out the rumors of your demise have been greatly exaggerated.
Wait, who said that? What? What did I
I don't
miss?
know, I'm just planting something at this point.
Yeah, between the two of us, there's one closer to the grave than the other, and it ain't me. Let me put it that way.
Well, give him hell, Ducky. We both heard those words spoken before. It seems like that's what you set out to do.
If I was a soldier, and you hear my general go like, before I go off to war, I say, give him hell, I'd be like, well.
All right, CASHBACK and Mafia. It's already been a pretty long day, but we have arrived at the final match. It's also going to be a best of 11 in between both of those teams. It's going to be Ukraine versus Poland. And to be honest, even though Mafia had the closest scoreline against W, it felt like CASHBACK so far had the weaker appearance.
Mafia definitely had the stronger opponent to play against in that semi-final. And the Sicarios showed that CASHBACK is prone to make mistakes still that can be exploited by the likes of Mafia. So why not watch Mafia do that in this one? The match against W, it was close as expected, kind of like the OLS finals, but at the end of the day, what is most important always is the one who wins, and that is Mafia. Now, for CASHBACK, it's been a long time since they've been in the finals.
That it definitely has been, and I mean, for World of Tanks, you know, at the end of the day, the old truth still holds true, right? You put two teams up against each other, and at the end of the day, the Polish one wins. Is it going to hold true in this match, though, is the question. Here we have a quick recap of what happened in this tournament so far, at least in the playoffs bracket. And that recap for day one for all those quarterfinals is summed up very quickly. It is EU #1.
Well, as expected, right? When you're the region that has the most competition, the most tournaments probably even, it is expected for them to be performing to this level, to be honest. The biggest takeaways are the ones we're taking into OLC, right? Especially for this Mafia team. They're looking good. W still looking good as well. Sicarios, I mean,
better than expected, to be honest.
the question is what happens to hit and run? Like, how do they approach OLC? You know, because they're kind of decapitated at this point in time.
Yeah, could be. But before we focus on Hit, or Weekend for that matter, another European team that hasn't made it to the playoffs, together with the likes of, for example, Beton. Now we have this CASHBACK versus Mafia finals, and I mean, both of those teams, no strangers to being in finals, but there can only be one victor. And either it's going to be the 8 players that we see on the screen right now and currently, and as you said, for them, it has been quite some time since they made finals, or it is Mafia. And I feel like throughout the history of the past years, Mafia, they've always been a little bit in the shadow of Hit, but I would say in the past 12 months or so, they are the new shining light of the Polish community.
Oh, for sure. For sure, Kihand. And they, you know, the Monster Edition seems to work out for them as well. I think Barkas is now relegated to bench player. YOLO is not always available. I think he's very busy, I've been told before. So, you know, fills that slot that they had kind of open and working his way into the core, and they're looking good. Map pick and bans though, again, best of 11, so 2 maps banned. Cliff banned by Mafia and Pilsen by CASHBACK. Not really surprises, to be honest.
No, I mean, Cliff was banned out in the previous match for Mafia as well, and they seemingly want to get rid of it. And even though Pilsen was split in the previous match that Mafia had, I mean, there is that reputation, right, that Mafia have on the map, and so for CASHBACK to ban it out, no surprise at all. That means we are starting out on one of those maps we didn't see last match, which is Himmelsdorf, Mafia's pick, going into Ghost Town, then Tundra. All of those 3 maps for sure we are going to see in full. But after that, if we go into, let's say, the second half of this best of 11, it would be Ensk, then Sand River if we get to it. And if we once again require a tiebreaker, then that one is going to happen on the first match of the second final. Actually, that one will be on Westfield.
Westfield if it gets that far, but we're going to start it off straight with Himmels between CASHBACK and Mafia. And if CASHBACK learned anything from their Sicarios match, this maybe not to send the CIS on the strike straight. But at the same time, though, how does CASHBACK approach this? I mean, they're probably very happy to be in the finals, but their route here has not been all that contested. I mean, it was close against Sicarios, but, you know.
Well, the thing is, in the cross-group stage, actually, they felt very strong. Then in the quarterfinals, they also had a pretty dominant performance, let's be honest here. But, yeah, these semifinals, they do raise questions as we go into the grand finals of the AMD Onslaught Summer Arena. And Mafia are starting with a Foch B-band, CASHBACK. They do want another B-band, that is the 50B on their end. And for Mafia, very, very easy lineup to read. It is the Inspire medium coming in with the captain of Profuse, the 140, and then 6 times Bluska.
In return, TDs galore as well for CASHBACK. Triple E for a Bluska. Double CS and a BAT, so that TD core joined by those double CS and BAT, but the lineup they're playing against for Mafia is very, very straightforward.
It is an absolutely in-your-face pushing lineup, and if we think back to the semifinals that just happened, Mafia started off kind of like this, but not really on Westfield as well, thinking back to that triple CS direct over push. And now Mafia, I think, hoping to surprise the opponent once again with all of those Bliskas making their way down through the 7 line that want to surprise, want to really catch someone off guard. Aphrodite takes a first shot of damage for Profuse. That's good. He gets the level 1 ability without getting retaliated upon by the E4. And these Bliskas, they haven't been spotted. The problem for CASHBACK is that's a lot of mediums out of the game. That's a lot of E4s that are stuck in that G line. Now they finally get spotted, all of them. That's going to cut CASHBACK in half, and yes, they will have the bat shot from the hill, but for how long is the question?
Yeah, the bat from the hill coming in with a few shots, the CS as well joining in with 1, but now CASHBACK is going to somehow have to batter down the hatches, because all of these tanks from Mafia are now converging upon that pocket of resistance in Mercedes on the 3 line. Mindbreaker already taken 1, and this Batcha trying to get into the game as quickly as possible is about 10 seconds away from engaging onto the backs of Conrad and Monster, who should also realize that this is a possibility and need to push forward. Because of that, they're peeking out against Aka, but Barbarian is already kind of there, starting to clip out on the back of Monster, and maybe right now Mafia is not finding the engagement that's truly needed, because Monster's fully forced to turn around to face Barbarian. Of course, Barbarian doesn't have enough cliff potential to actually kill him, but Kono's the first one down, and that's a Mafia player. Mindbreaker yet still alive. Conrad looking pretty dire as well. He's dead. Rexar does make a kill. The HP is getting a bit closer. Monster, however, is dead. Barbarian will come off of reload, or Aphrodite will get the shot. Maybe Monster gets one more. No. Barbarian comes off of reload and gets that one. About 3000 HP difference now, but Rexar, I think he's pretty dead as well.
Well, Rexar is facing off against the CS63. He does have the damage reduction ability, which is going to keep him alive for the time being, but oh no, gets tracked here from Liberty. He might be able to get one more shot of damage, and he does actually at the close range, 802. This makes this into a 3 versus 3, but taking stock of the HP, it's not looking good for the Polish team as Profuse gets another shot into Little, but look at it, 1700 for Mafia, 4,500 for CASHBACK.
Orchek doesn't see Aphrodite, and Aphrodite doesn't see Orchek because he pulls back just on time. Aphrodite now going to be peeking out. Will find Orchek, and will find Orchek with his bands down. Finds the kill as well. Important. Yuzek dying to Little, leaving just Profuse, and it's going to be CASHBACK coming into this match. Starting cold, but starting off hot at the same time after winning the first round against Mafia.
Yeah, Liberty is going to be able to shut it down with that strike, or with a shot, doesn't even matter. And CASHBACK, they had a lot of time to prepare after their semifinal against Sicarios respectively, but it seems like, you know, that cool-off time, maybe it wasn't completely the wrong thing for them to have, probably keeping themselves warm a little bit, maybe some training sparrings in training rooms going on, or just watching the stream with a big bowl of popcorn, because obviously that is what you need when a best of 11 goes to tiebreaker. Anyway, though, long story short, CASHBACK put the first one on the board.
Yeah, they get the first one. That's the most important part. Now, it is always a debate about who has the real advantage, because there's something to be said about having a break, but there's also something to be said about having played. Problem here is these Blitzcats and everything else from Mafia did not get the engagement quickly enough. I think Barbarian made it back on time, and then the Blitzcats were forced to push down individual lanes, not really able to utilize that quick burst either on one particular tank.
Also keep in mind that Barbarian, actually with 2.7k damage being dealt, we were theorizing, Banter and I, in the past match, like when does a bad chat actually pay off? And we kind of settled on that, well, 3,500–4,000 damage mark. But keep in mind, all the damage that Barbarian did here was against Juggernaut TDs, so he didn't actually only do the good old E-Honda into the fray together with a 140, and that is 5 430Us, a lot of DPM, but not a lot of sustain, to be honest.
They're going to be facing off against a CS, the Dravet, the BZ, ×2, and triple 50B. So, yeah, those 430Us are going to have a tough time here, to be honest.
I think the biggest problem for the 430Us is that tanks like these usually do well against like HP Pinata super tanks. Let's say E100, Type 5, something like that. But there is nothing like that really on the CASHBACK lineup. The other tank that 430Us do well against maybe is the BZ. But other than that, they really lose out, in my opinion, against 50Bs if they're not able to swarm those. What they do have is pretty good camo, and they're utilizing it to their absolute fullest on this approach on the one line. They're not getting spotted, so Mafia, once again, it feels like a little bit of an all-in.
Again, but this time instead of going through the 8 lane, they're going down 1-2 line. And they do have Aphrodite in front of them. That is taking some damage, 2 shots so far. But the 50Bs are still going to have to go down the 8 lane and try and find something. There might be even a little bit more damage dealt towards Aphrodite. Conrad looking for the swell, and he's dropped about half HP. So they may not have killed him, but they have done a lot of damage towards that singular CS63. And these 50Bs, all they've done really is driven down the 8 line, crossed over, taken some damage, and not really achieved much except for show what is happening. So I think currently Mafia are not too unhappy with this. They're still in HP deficit, but that's mainly because CASHBACK just picked such a heavy lineup.
Well, I think Mafia now also need to react to this credible threat that is the triple 50B in the southeastern part of the map, but they have the perfect tank to receive, and that is that E100. They also have Kono hold down, and the 430U hold down over such a big distance. It's annoying to deal with, especially for 50Bs, where you have part of the cupola of the 430U is an auto bounce against those APCR shells from the 50Bs, and I think they realize that this is not the best kind of engagement for those Bs, and that's why they're starting to return a little bit.
We got a 5-line though, but those 430Us unspotted as of now. They've taken over A4. I think they want to continue on towards the back of this Dravet, and at the same time have the E100 to soak up any potential damage in the south. The information get used, and now Little, I think, comes to realize what is happening. He cannot go forward, he cannot go backwards, he can just accept fate coming his way. A bounce from Conrad. Yusek not bouncing, however, and now the 50Bs making their way down the 8 line, but I don't think they're going to be there on time to make sure that Little doesn't die. He's basically dead in the water, and then they'll pull back into this 5 line with those double 430U waiting to receive the 50Bs that are coming their way, which is in the form of Liberty and the Barbarian, but that is such a long way to go for these tanks, and at the meantime, Mindbreaker's absolutely dying against this double 430U. Good strike on towards the both of them, hits home. Yusek will fall in that 430U, but I don't think they have the damage to make Conrad explode, so he should get quite a bit of damage in, and now with the 140 coming in from behind as well, there should be a pretty much guaranteed cleanup, but Kono in return taking 2k damage, so the strike being taken as well by Squeezy might make sure that Kono dies, and that's why you can see him keeping the speed up as well, wants to dodge it, but can he is a different question. 3 tanks left though from CASHBACK. The HP always close because of the lineup of CASHBACK, but the guns not really.
No, and the thing is as well, Profuse with that 140 now on the hunt against Barbarian in that 50B. He takes 2 shots from the double Soviet medium, able to shoot back with 2 as well, but Profuse has more than enough HP to run through those 2 additional shells. Barbarian thus pulling the full reload, and still the HPs are close, but the guns are not. Orzhek with a good cheeky shot. The 50B getting outflanked by the T100 in that 8 line. A weird combination of words to say as Orzhek puts in another shot somewhere down the line, and now he has more than enough to tank against Squeezy. He can pull out, put another shot into the 50B, and Squeezy thinks about engaging, cannot against so many guns from Mafia that are trained on the E100.
Squeezy does find the kill with the strike. That was one of the 2 one-shots, or one of the 3 one-shots at this point in time. Barbarian will potentially find Conrad as well. You know, he ends up bouncing once Profuse comes in with the ram, the body slam. That was pretty damn nice there from Profuse, keeping his teammate alive. The strike comes out, but that's of course just a CS63 mini strike. Not enough. An HE shell from Orzhek as well. Add insult to injury. Squeezy is being squeezed dry here by Orzhek of his HP. Orzhek needs the intuition to APCR, gets the shot, gets the kill, and it's just Aphrodite left as the last one of CASHBACK. A good round from Mafia as well, a good execution, find the opening, and you could see the 50Bs. I mean, yeah, very powerful tank, but so much driving.
I think despite it being different tanks in both of the rounds, it was kind of the same story. Mafia trying in the first round to engage through the 8 line with Bliskavitsas, don't immediately find any kind of damage. And here, same story for CASHBACK. They try to go through the 8 line with those, or sorry, over the hill. Not that it really matters with those 50Bs, and then they don't really find anyone to engage upon. Kono with the kill onto Aphrodite, and this means that Mafia are going to equalize the scoreline, and Himmelsdorf is going to get split 1-1.
Yeah, well deserved, I guess, at the end of the day. Both teams coming in, having a good round. This was well executed from Mafia. Find the isolation. They could have also opted to farm the BZ inside of the courtyard if they wanted to. I think he was also in a lot of problems where he was. But they got the Dravets, and there's just not much to be done for CASHBACK. And it was really close at some point as well because of, like I said, the lineup from CASHBACK is so burst heavy and high HP heavy that was very to use. Yeah, well, you could see that they sometimes tend to explode.
And it almost felt a little bit like an all-in from both teams, realistically, right? Because Mafia, if you think back to the start of the round, they sent 5 430Us over the 1-2. Meanwhile, CASHBACK sent in triple 50B, kind of blind over the hill. And here, Mafia, just with more guns in the game from the start of it, able to kind of take so much HP off of Aphrodite that that tank cannot really participate that much more in the game. And then Little, it was, I guess, a bit of a mispositioning from him. Doesn't realize that this threat of the 430Us just moving on through the 1-2, they were all spotted, right? And then all of a sudden he finds himself in a position where he cannot get out of, then CASHBACK needs to recommit with the 50Bs. They don't have the firepower because there's also some good shielding going on from Mafia. Then the 50Bs run out of shells, and all of a sudden they're standing empty-handed in front of these enraged funny button 430Us.
So, we've had Himmels. What was the second map, Gian?
The second map was a very good map that's on the screen now, and it is actually the tiebreaker map from last match. It is Ghost Town. Yeah, I had forgotten already. I'm making a mental mark in my head right now that after Ghost Town comes Tundra. But ask me in 5 minutes. I'll have forgotten.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, there's no way you remember in 5 minutes.
Yeah, first of all, Ghost Town now. Next on literally the cards.
Ghost Town coming up. And who do we favor on Ghost Town?
Ooh, hard to say. CASHBACK historically have been an extremely strong Ghost Town team, especially thinking back to, let's say, or less season 1, 2, 3, something like that. But you can say, okay, boomer, because that's now a pretty long time ago. I think since then, Mafia have been the stronger team, by far even. I mean, CASHBACK not making Season 6 playoffs comes to mind here. Community prediction, 40 to 60%. I can see that, to be honest. That's fair.
Yeah, I would expect it even more in Mafia's favor, to be honest.
Yeah, possibly. Then again, I think a lot of people that were voting were kind of under the same impression that we were, that CASHBACK actually dropping 4 rounds to Sicarios. That is more than expected.
Let's see what this Ghost Town shows us, because we know how Mafia would like to play. You know, very slow. We saw it already against W, right?
I think the other reason why Mafia didn't put the pedal to the metal and go fast on Ghost Town against W is that after the first engagement, realistically, they were so far ahead that they didn't need to do anything. Of course, when you're ahead, you can play aggressively, but you're not forced to. And I think Mafia are a team that can do either, and they just decided this for that round specifically. But let's see how this one goes. Mafia not switching their tank ban for Ghost Town from what we've seen. The EBR getting banned out, the K91 respectively on the side of CASHBACK. And this means that Mafia are starting with a fairly similar lineup to what we saw, but not completely the same. It's going to be Type 5, Bad Chat, Double CS, Leopard 1, E4, and once again Kono with that T100 LT. He had such a monster pun not intended game on Ghost Town against W.
In return, they're facing off against something quick and from CASHBACK. Triple BZ at T57 and triple Bad Chat. This will not be a long battle, one way or another.
I kind of am trending into the same direction, especially those triple Bad Chats. They either win or they lose quick, but there is nothing in between usually. The double BZ from CASHBACK, interestingly, are both making their way towards the artillery strike that's currently being captured by Kono. He sees one, now he sees 2 of them, and the Bad Chats from CASHBACK are going to fan out. Oh, yeah, Monster, that is not a spot he wants to be in, as Mindbreaker and Aphrodite, they're taking damage against Conrad, but that's exactly what they want as Barbarians coming through with that T57. Pop, 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 go the shots into Conrad. That is unable to sustain his life. Monster does go unspotted, which is kind of crazy at this point in time, and CASHBACK need to realize that they're not able to pick up the Bad Chat without physically going close, as Yuzek, the next one to get aggressed upon.
Monster might even find Liberty as well. He's waiting for him to be a one-shot, and then maybe he ends up killing him. Liberty now starting to blind towards the bushes. The strike comes in from Rexor, actually. That's the big one used on that. Would have liked maybe to see Monster kill him, but instead the opposite used the strike for that. They did already lose Conrad, of course, in that CS63, and now CASHBACK, I think, realizes they gotta go. Monster getting cleared once more. This time he's not able to get away, as Squeezy comes in as this secondary layer to this clear. They find the kill on Monster. Yuzek now not in the greatest position either. Will end up going down in that Type 5 heavy, and finally from the long distance comes that CS63 of Rexar into the battle. Yuzek once again Mindbreaker, but he will not. Tried to dodge the shot, but didn't end up happening. Orchak now wants the kill, does get it as well. Pops his ability, starts rolling backwards, and it's a 5-on-4, but a playable one for Mafia as it stands. Rexar now joining. If they can take this 2v2, things could happen that go their way.
Indeed, Rexa and Orzik, though, getting double striked with a big one at that, as Aphrodite takes 250, I believe, by Profuse as Rexa comes in, but Barbarian from the back able to pick up the forehand. Now Rexa in that 1 versus 2 against tanks with a lot more alpha and some more armor squeezy, with the Batshak coming in to make it a 3 versus 1, but they have to back off a little bit because the Leopard 1 is striking from the back and from the shadows. Aka with another shot into Rexa to make him a 1-shot. The Leopard 1 continuously farming, but Aphrodite finds the pickup, and all of a sudden it is 2 Mafia players, one of which is a T100 that doesn't have any firepower at all against 5 tanks of CASHBACK.
Yeah, Mafia kind of getting stun locked there, to be honest. They saw the double BZ boosting 7 line, so they already knew that something was happening. Nobody got spotted. Monster still going very deep in the bushes, getting cleared, but goes unspotted, which helps them, but doesn't help them to get Conrad to stay alive, of course. And that was another problem. I don't know about the strike usage either to kill Liberty. Like, okay, he's a 1-shot, but you would like to see Monster maybe kill him, because let's be real, he's gonna die probably anyways at that point in those bushes and get cleared. Use the strike for big damage on the group maybe instead. I don't see a world in which Monster really survives that.
On the other hand, I think it was a very aggressive, quick opening and good opening from CASHBACK. They got exactly what they wanted, which was to overwhelm Mafia realistically on the field. And it worked for all intents and purposes, because the engagement at the start, it went exactly how it was planned for CASHBACK, with the BZ-75 soaking up a lot of shots from the back lines. None of them going down in the initial approach. Then the CS getting clipped by Barbarian in the T-57, who then reloads quickly, and that puts Monster under a lot of pressure, because as soon as he gets unspotted, the T-57 once again pops ability, and just in that small time that Monster is spotted, the T-57 will be able to completely ravage the HP of the Batshot.
Yeah, indeed. And it was a good round from CASHBACK. Like, very aggressive, very straightforward. They knew what Mafia wanted to do, and they completely rolled over it. And you can see Mafia the struggle. You know, you have that bad shot in the bush line. He cannot contribute.
It's almost like 2 guns down.
Yeah,
bad. Not for Mafia, right? Because the
T100
can't
T100 and Conrad is dead.
Yeah. So make that even 3 guns, because Conrad is dead. Monster can't really reveal himself, and the T100 in a fight where the guns matter is technically a non-factor. So CASHBACK, I think, possibly even watching the game that was happening against W and completely figuring out what to do, and Mafia, they get hit with something that realistically there wasn't even a comeback to.
With the way that they opened, I think there was a moment of recovery there. When they spotted the double BZ and the T-57, maybe it was the moment, you know, Monster slightly less aggressive, perhaps. Who knows? But, you know, if Kono actually took the radio tower, which we see very often as well, let's be real, we very often see the radio tower be taken in that T100, and sees those bad shots, it's a completely different game. And that is not outside of the realms of possibility, because quite often we see that immediately.
And it happened in the semis, but not here in the finals. I think he also, as a player, doesn't want to become too predictable, especially for light tank players. That's sometimes the issue. But let's see how this one's going to go. Mafia this time around don't want to see a K91 and do want to switch their lineup up considerably, apparently, as CASHBACK ban the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. So for Mafia, looking at their lineup this time, it's not going to be a long game. Triple B, triple bat, T100.
CASHBACK in return, Dravets, double T57, double CS, an E50M, and a T100. Could still be aggressive, but the double CS and a light.
Is it weird to say that I'm kind of worried for Mafia? Because this feels almost desperate. One double 50B spotted by the plane of Liberty. Kono, on the other hand, sees 3 tanks. That's a CS, a T-57, and the Dravets. But yeah, those triple 50B, between them, they have the firepower to blow up 1 tank immediately. They are going to stop here now because they were spotted from the plane, and they do realize that they would possibly be taking some damage. Kono getting a first shot into Akka, reveals himself on the western part, but that triple bat shot, I don't think it has been spotted so far. And the E50M could be a problem as the 50Bs start shooting on the 50M and he just gets blown up. Minus.
That's 350Bs finding a clip, and now they're just happily running away. Spotted. Might even get striked, to be honest. But Little is not in that much better of a position either in the Dravets. He's forced to go into the cap. Yeah. I don't want to, like, say it, but...
I mean, yeah. Not the best opening for CASHBACK, let's put it like this. And the grand old opening coming out from Mafia. They are starting to take a little bit of chipping damage with those 50Bs driving around now. Kono also getting tagged, but on the other side, Aka taking a bunch of shots from the players of Mafia. Little now turning around, wants to support his team near their own spawn, but Aka getting found by Monster. The Batchat still not out of shots. It does have a very deep clip. Does he get the final shot in towards Aka? Yes, he does, and that is 2 unanswered kills for the side of Mafia.
Yuzek coming for Mindbreaker. In return, we see Barbarian in the 57 trying to shield for Little, but Little gets out of there on 488 HP, and Yuzek is going to give Mindbreaker every single shot here. One more in the chamber will give it as well, and Monster might fancy coming in and finishing it off, but it's a risky game, so they're not going to do that. They've got 2 tank lead, Little on low HP. I mean, I don't see a recovery.
Yeah, Mindbreaker even realizes Yuzek's going to be reloaded before he can make anything meaningful happen. And that's going to be exactly the case. Mindbreaker has to bow out of the engagement against the double Batchats that at this point in time, I feel like they could be playing a little bit more aggressively. But of course, with this kind of lead, Mafia don't really want to give anything up for free. Liberty getting spotted by that T100. He does go into a bush, realize it's not going to happen. Spots out Profuse, but takes one in return. Great return shot by Liberty as well. But yeah, Kono taking one. But we're trying to sugarcoat a turd for Mafia at this point. Sorry, for CASHBACK at this point. They are far behind. And look, Profuse now coming in to shield Kono as well. Liberty realizing the threat and is evacuating, but how long is the question?
I mean, this Mafia train is less, this CASHBACK train is less likely to arrive on time than a Deutsche Bahn train, so that says a lot.
Apparently someone yesterday broke a new record with the train there being delayed by over 800 minutes, which is crazy in and of itself. But Conrad actually needs to be careful with 600 HP. Ooh, that strike is going to hit on 2 as well, but they do manage to blow up Barbarian. Yes, Orzhek falls in turn, but with Little in the Dravets falling, I don't really see this one happening. Liberty getting cleaned out as well, and so it's only 2 tanks remaining for CASHBACK.
I mean, yeah, the damage stacks up, but you know, it's not really. It has been over for a while, like 2 minutes, to be honest. Like once they got that second kill out, it was and Little so low HP. It's like, well, yeah. The good thing is that Mafia sped it up. It's gonna be 2-2 moving on. Yeah, and what's the next map?
Tundra.
And the one after that?
Another great map. We're gonna see in a minute. Okay,
no,
that is actually devious though. Like I was saying, I was gonna remember Tundra, and you asked the map after that. Like how the hell am I supposed to know it? Anyway, though, Mafia with a quick retaliation. It's gonna be 2-2, and once again, maps get split.
Yeah, I mean, so far neither team getting ahead of each other. This is why we don't need the best of 11s yet. You know, we just need best of 7s.
Yes and no.
Yesn't.
Yesn't. Exactly. That's the word I should have used. But Mafia, I mean, great stuff from them, to be honest. Like, they get, I would say, bamboozled is the correct word on the first Ghost Town round from CASHBACK, and then they're like, okay, you're really gonna play like this? We can one up you. Here's another one of those crazy strats. And to be honest, like, yeah, Aphrodite getting spotted on the cross, getting eliminated, the 50Bs getting away for free. It's impossible. It's not impossible, but it's very hard on this level to come back from a disadvantage like this.
Near impossible. But let's see. So Tundra, Ensk, Sand River, and Westfield. Tundra, Mafia wins it 2-0, Ensk 1-1, and Sand River Mafia closes it out.
Then we would be at a 6-3, which is coincidentally, as I remember exactly your prediction, so I know why you're saying this.
That is just a lucky side effect.
Like, aha. Just lucky.
Just a byproduct, to be honest.
I mean, skill is when luck becomes a habit, right? So...
So nothing you would know anything about.
Huh? Needless hostility. Needless hostility.
Huh?
But yeah, Tundra.
Yeah, and all I want to say is you had your peak when the Conqueror GC was still a good artillery to play in Clan Wars, you know? Like...
I mean... It's always good to have someone with the oversight.
If your ability is the ability to play well with one hand, is that really any ability at all?
I also had to use push to talk, you know, to tell people on TeamSpeak what to do. So technically, 2 hands. I'll have you know.
Man, I swear, you talk about those days. I swear, you always talk like you were like the main FC or something like that. Kian, this is the comparison of taking your kid to soccer on a match and the coach isn't available and they're like, you want to do it for a day? And you're like, yeah, sure, man. And you're standing on the sideline and you're like, Johnny, forward, deep, hug the defense, lean on them. And you're like, man, look at me, man. I'm the next Pep Guardiola.
What can I say? I had a pretty good win rate back in my day. Angry man yells at Cloud. Anyway, let's see if we'll have any angry players yelling at Cloud, because Tundra, next one on the card, to be honest, between CASHBACK and Mafia, nothing really comes to mind between both of those teams that would be actually particularly positive or negative, which is kind of unusual.
Yeah, I guess you would just expect a, how to say...
like solid. For example, I know that Weekend are a crazy strong Tundra team, but if I try to recall anything for Mafia or CASHBACK, it's just like solid, but nothing else. So let's see how it's going to get played between them. CS63 banned out for Mafia. EZ75 gone for CASHBACK, and that obviously leaves the quadruple MBY open for Mafia together with a 140 and double 430U.
CASHBACK, triple 430U, Tesak and triple Mivi. It's still a brawl-oriented lineup though, from both teams.
Yeah, and we have seen before Liberty using the Tesak to great effect. Of course, CASHBACK, they want to draw out this game a little bit longer than Mafia, as the Tesak, yes, it can burst for a lot of damage, but at the same time, it doesn't have the DPM of, say, a 140, 430U, or a Mivi with 3, 4, 5 stacks on it. Obviously, the Tesak is going to get almost the full info. You would expect the full one, but the 140 of Profuse actually went to the back of the hill. He will try to take the info tower from there. This means that Mafia won't have 7 players available in the brawl should it come to it. But they also know CASHBACK have a light tank, so the number of brawling tanks should be kind of even. Profuse gets the info tower, gets the full information. Liberty gets into the artillery strike, but will he get that one? Unclear.
I don't know about that. I mean, CASHBACK will have to be very quick here to support this Liberty, and they're coming in immediately. Conrad goes for the ram even, but a lot of damage being taken on Conrad immediately down towards 1.1, and immediate repush as well coming in from CASHBACK. Do they keep going though? They're a little bit afraid of this, but they are going to commit because they have to. It's Mindbreaker and Squeezy leading the charge, and here comes the entirety of CASHBACK. Profuse and Kono still driving back in with that 140 that came from the hill. Conrad is going to be the first one dead. He's going to be able to call the focus fire after that. I got to be careful though. The strike being taken gets reset again for a second. Little is about to take it over. There's the reset coming out, and Mafia have found a good position to hold at this point. They lose Conrad, but the rest of them, nobody really in trouble. While in return, when you look at CASHBACK, they're leaving the Stranglers behind. They're chasing Yuzek, and Liberty and the Tesak really a non-factor right now. They may be chasing, but they're chasing themselves into their own graves. As Squeezy's left behind, wondering where did the rest of my team go? Because he comes to see they all chased Yuzek, who is still yet alive, came back around the corner once more, and Mafia, just on time, bring all the guns in the right places, find everything they need, and will win the very first Tundra battle.
Yeah, I mean, the Tesak there with one last laser show against the 140 of Profuse, but even he managed to get into the fight, and the ending of this battle almost more one-sided than a Mobius strip, and Mafia, it feels like, very easily able to pick up this round number 5 here, the first one on Tundra for them. And yeah, realistically, this Tesak, it, like, we were saying before the game, it can be very effective, but only if the game actually takes a long time. And the problem there always is, first of all, CASHBACK on top damage is not something that you ever really want to see, to be honest. And the other thing is, by spotting the opposing team with your plane, you reveal the fact that you have a light tank, so you give away the information to the enemy team that likely if they commit with 7 to the brawl, then they will have more effective DPM, more effective armor, and more effective HP in the fight.
Yeah, and Conrad still does pretty good damage for basically dying his first one, you know? He does a lot more than Barbarian did for repushing.
Yeah, and I think Conrad also got like 500 ram damage or something on the CASHBACK. But yeah, that's an obvious drawback for the CASHBACK as well. It is a light tank, so when it gets rammed, it's gonna take some damage. I have to say, I disagree.
I mean, maybe it's possible. Why not? I would take you with me into the secret writing facility, but I mean, I've never seen you read or write, so I just don't know if you're capable.
Once again, like this claim is so outlandish. I don't even.
Do you
know
guys
what
notice
to say
how he
against
doesn't
something.
deny the accusations? But
I denied it by saying the claim is outlandish.
Yeah,
It's just so obviously and flat out wrong that
right.
I don't even know what to say. Now everything you have to say is like, right.
I've seen the application process for wargaming. Right? Nowhere does it say you need to be able to read or write.
I believe when I was reading through the application form, you were actually correct. But once again, that kind of devalues your claim. Your slander, I think, is more correct when it comes to this.
How about, you just read an audiobook, Johan,
It's like you tripping over Wi-Fi cables, I guess.
No, you just read you read an audiobook so I can listen to it after,
Oh, you mean like as a narrator?
Yes. Like,
that's already what I did for the Alienware commercial. Anyway, Mafia banning out the 50B and CASHBACK banning out the 430U. And that leaves us with a little bit of a curious choice for Mafia. I haven't really seen the IS-4 that often on Tundra, and that is why it gets switched to double BZ-75, triple MBY, CS-63, and the 140.
In return, CASHBACK, double BZ, Dravet, CS 140, double BlizzCamp could still brawl either way. I mean, both teams are looking at it. It's just a slight different philosophy. Which one would you prefer?
To be honest, I think possibly Mafia's, because on this map, like the BlizzCamp, yes, they can be very powerful tools if you get them into the fray. But I feel like a lot of the gameplay, as soon as it goes into like hull down stuff, which both teams are, which Mafia is indicating by having the MBYs, then all of a sudden the BlizzCamp with the narrow gun arc kind of starts having problems. Aka and Little delaying a little bit, hoping to get some shots, but actually it's Little to take the first one by Profuse, which means that Inspire is likely going to be available even on level 2 for Mafia, and that is a huge asset to have.
Yeah, the Inspire will make this fight a lot more convenient for them. Kono spots out no, he doesn't spot out Aphrodite, but Aphrodite spots out Kono. Because of that tree probably over there now. The rest of the Mafia team looking for Aka and Little. They may want to push them or may just want to peek. No, they're just going for the peeks because they see the reinforcements coming in. And Kono and Aphrodite just trading it out, just resetting those strikes. Perfuse is in the lower side, and now Conrad is boosting in together with Yuzek. Yuzek is taking some damage for this monster. Rexar Orchek's supposed to screen at a moment like this to make sure there is no repush. And you can see Aka trying to evacuate, trying to get back in towards monster Rexar. And the other Mivi over there, Kono still in this little 1v1, and Aka pushing straight up and over. Little will die against Perfuse. Orchek trying to make it away as well. They are abandoning monster. The strike comes out. Is it a good one? Not that great, but it was a mini strike from the CS63. Monster still alive. Might be able to get a kill. He does on towards Aka. Liberty does shut him down in return though, but this counter push from CASHBACK is not finding as much success as you would want it to get. Kono also won his 1v1 against Aphrodite. Important on the back lines, but a good track shot from Aphrodite keeps him alive for a moment longer, but the fight still ensues here towards that secondary RD strike. Perfuse dies against the Barbarian, but still, right now, Mafia ahead in the HP department. Mindbreaker though finds another kill. Yuzek will die against Squeezy. It's not over just yet.
It's not over just yet as Mafia are down to 2 guns. Yes, they have some more HP, but are they able to keep Orchek in the game? That's the question. Conrad probably going to win his 1v1 against Liberty in the Dravets as a good shot comes out by Liberty in towards the MBY, putting him in towards a 1-shot as well. And now Liberty, the only thing he has to do is get yet another shot of damage as behind him, Aphrodite able to eliminate Orchek and Conrad. Yes, a lot of HP, but he finds himself in the 1v4. Good shot by Liberty, who exploits the fact that Conrad was boosting forward. Great shot from Conrad, but against the Bliskovica of Mindbreaker and Barbarian, he is gonna go down, and CASHBACK once again equalizing the scoreline. So it's not going to be the 2-0 on Tundra for Mafia. Instead, we are once again equal, 3-3.
And maybe it's 2-0 on Einstein, you know, it doesn't really change. Everything is still open.
I wasn't even going to bring it up anymore, right? You just put yourself into this position.
I don't mind it. I can handle it again. You know, I'm a big boy.
But yeah, I think great reaction from, well, first of all, from Mafia, but then even better by CASHBACK, to be honest. Like, I mean, if we want to characterize this game.
Liberty did really well in the Dravits. Of course, his ability is kind of happy with the tanks that they were picking. But at the same time, the Bliskovic is really paying off, though. Really paid off. Barbarian and Mindbreaker, look at their damage. So
yep,
they really were the ones that brought it back with those big alpha tank destroyers.
I feel like the initial timing for Mafia, when they wanted to overpush, that was the timing to go, but then it felt like they hesitated when they wanted to collapse onto, I believe, Aka and Little for CASHBACK. They hesitated for like 5 seconds. And this meant that Yuzek, for example, during the overpush took 2 shots from the Bliskars already. If Mafia go immediately, I think they win the game. I might be wrong, but they have a better chance. And then, of course, at the end...
CASHBACK would be a little further away still.
Yeah, and then, of course, at the end, great job by CASHBACK keeping 1-shots alive, killing enemy 1-shots off, while a lot of HP by Mafia was out of the game. That being said, Tundra, obviously, we saw it split 1-1 as well. So we are headed on to Ensk, which technically is a CASHBACK pick, but I think we can both agree it doesn't really matter that deep into the pick.
Well, so far neither team really getting the better of one another. Ensk now, maybe the one to make a difference. Either team wins this 2-0, they will put themselves on match point as well.
Or scriptwriter just has these continuous splits prepared for us.
Could you do a split, Gihan?
I think it would be more dramatic if now one team goes up by 2 points and then the other team comes back. But I believe it's hard to do on Sandrin.
A split IRL, you know?
What?
A split IRL. Could you do a split IRL?
No, I rather prefer to push one side, you know.
Okay. Well...
I mean, we're talking about tags, right?
No, I mean like gymnastics split, Gihan, you know?
Oh, no. I'm way too old for that.
Buddy, I somehow doubt you were able to do it. I like how you like try and be like mysterious, like maybe I was able to do it 10 years ago, guys.
I don't think I was, like maybe when I was 5 or something, but no. My ligaments are not done for this.
Understandable. Ensk. We saw CASHBACK play a bunch of it already on Ensk though. They played against Dopa. I think they played it against Sicarios as well, right?
Mm-hmm. And some of it was good, and some of it did not deserve that attribute.
Yeah, some of it was indeed less good. Kind of waiting to see. Yeah, so far I wouldn't say one team is better than the other.
No, I would say that the rounds that both teams are bringing home, they are doing so very well. The last round here on Tundra, obviously very close, but let's see how this one is going to work out as the E4 banned by Mafia, the Type 5 banned by CASHBACK. So Mafia coming into this one with the IS-4, a CS-63 triple Bliska and double Foshby.
In return, CASHBACK, the Sack, double Fosh, triple Bliska, and a Dravets. They really like that light tank. Mixed success though.
Against the lineup of Mafia, it might be pretty good though, because those triple Bliskas, they are just gonna get cracked and held. That is really what the Tsak excels at, despite, of course, or together with getting the very early info against the tanks of Mafia. However, no immediate damage onto Mafia. Instead, Mindbreaker, the first one, to take some hits, but the spray and pray by Liberty in that Tsak is just going to destroy some walls, doesn't really get anything else done. And I think Profuse is correct to evacuate. And Aphrodite actually a little bit late with the shot.
But now Mafia somehow needs to clear down 1-2 though, and look at Barbarian a little already putting up the defensive barrier over there. Bliskavitz is now pushing through the cap as well as CASHBACK going to try to go on towards the IS-4. It looks like it. They are spotted out. Aphrodite is still going, but Squeezy and Mindbreaker have said no thank you. They're backing off. So is Aphrodite too far forward here?
I mean, there was a point in time where it looked very, very dicey for Conrad, as Orzhek actually takes a bit of damage, I believe, by Barbarian, who had to shoot 2 shells in his clip. Is currently contemplating whether he should be going for the reload, as Liberty is going to take the spotting tower, and I think as soon as he secures that Barbarian is not in any immediate danger of getting pushed, yeah, here we see Barbarian immediately presses C, goes for a reload. And now, as the dust kind of settles, it feels like CASHBACK has had the better opening because they have the control over the cap, and they are 45 seconds out from completing that one. But Conrad, of course, with the IS-4, can side scrape to his heart's content against the Fosh B of Little.
I mean, you can also side scrape against Aphrodite. Like that Bliskavitz takes a mini strike from Perfus, so there is the reset. They know he's there. I just don't know if CASHBACK really intended to put him there.
Yeah, as I said, it felt for a second like Conrad was in a dicey position, but now Mafia with the no-U, and Aphrodite is kind of stuck. Info tower once again getting used by Mafia, full information. They see nothing's really coming at this point in time. And Liberty going to pick up the RD strike with the light tank, and I don't think it makes sense for Mafia to expend their artillery strike to kind of delay it for a bit. So CASHBACK a little bit ahead, I would say. They have 2 strikes compared to Mafia's 1, but of course Profuse just picked up the second one there as well. Liberty once again is going to go for the info tower, the blind shots. They do miss him. I mean, the Tsak is a fairly small tank after all. And yeah, it's a bit tit for tat here.
One of the Fosh Bs gets across and spotted across the A-line. I think the Dravets was spotted for that. I don't know if the Bliskas will be able to go. Conrad is sitting there. Monster takes 1 from the Fosh B of Little. That's important because it gets him back some ability as well, which he used earlier. Aphrodite pops his ability. Of course, you know, sitting on the cap generates quite a bit of prestige points.
Yeah, so he's gonna only get struck for 319, which, considering the grand scheme of things, is not a lot, but considering the grand scheme as well, it feels like Mafia is setting up for a push on this one line with the double Fosh B and the Bliska as well. And the info tower, this one's immediately once again getting used by Mafia. 30 seconds on the cap though, so a second Bliska has joined on there. Mafia do have a strike,
and
but
a mini strike.
CASHBACK, no, what's happening here?
Barbarian knocks over the building. Rexar did not spot him. Barbarian did spot him, but they're about to find him. He gets spotted out. Now he's going to have to face in front of Yuzek. Yuzek will pop his ability. The strike comes out. Will hit on 2 by the looks of things. Barbarian's just dead though. Just explodes. The fire is too much. Going on Rexar, Yuzek. But Yuzek in return dropped very low as well though. Towards 600 HP. But he will survive. But the first kill goes Mafia's way. Can they keep Yuzek alive? That's... I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Little with that shot destroys the wall, and then Yuzek himself gets destroyed. So 1-for-1 trade in the tank department, but I believe a little bit more damage dealt actually for the side of CASHBACK. That also reflects in the HP. Mafia below 16,000, CASHBACK still at 17. So yeah, Conrad going closer to Aphrodite just to reconfirm what he already knows, which is where Aphrodite is actually at. And now we settle once again in this uneasy kind of state of the game where CASHBACK are on the cap. Aphrodite is able to reduce the incoming damage of the artillery strike every single time. And now Aka has actually found a hold-down angle against Conrad. Aphrodite, does he use the... no, he does not. So he gets the sound cue for the small strike, but he's keeping his ability for the big one, which now, at this point in time, is fully charged.
Triple cap pressure. With Aka and Squeezy joining as well, which means they'll have to do more than just reset Aphrodite. They have angles, of course, towards Aka and Squeezy with Conrad as well, but it's adding a layer of pressure. In the meantime, Strike's just getting rotated. Perfuse has 1. It's coming off of cooldown soon again. He may indeed just use it on the cap. Good shot from Aka, good shot from Conrad. Just a quick little trade. Big Strike will hit on 2. No, it will hit on 1.
It will only hit on 1, and this means that once again Squeezy and Aka can drive onto the cap, although Aka currently just taking the tracks off of Conrad, so wants to keep him in place for a little bit. At any point in time, Conrad needs to be wary of the fact as well. Oh, good shots into Aka, but I just was about to say he needs to be afraid of the fact that Aphrodite can just peek out in that Bliskovica and hit him for 800, just smack him in the face.
I was wondering why Aphrodite doesn't just at some point just peek, you know? Because what's really stopping him from doing that? And he does just that, punishes Conrad, and CASHBACK up a little bit of HP, but up in positions maybe, because they're repushing this northern area a little bit, punishing Vexar, having the information as well. It's a slow and steady kind of game, but also, of course, Mafia has, CASHBACK has something Mafia does not, and that's strikes. They have 2 of them, and they're gonna get a 3rd one as well. They could get a 4th one before the game ends, and that is going to hurt on somebody. They don't need to use them to decap, you know?
I mean, the fact as well that CASHBACK is up HP despite having light tank tells you all you need to know about the state of damage dealt, right? 20 seconds though on the cap. Once again, Profuse will have to use the strike that he's currently sitting on. He has a level 2 ability as well. 7 seconds. The strike goes on to Aphrodite, who does not manage to dodge it. Now goes onto the cap, and actually this time around it hits 2. Aka going pretty low, but I don't think they're expecting the spot that Liberty is sitting on. Aka doesn't even have to touch the cap at this point in time. A shot coming in by Conrad, but now Aka, who has drawn back a little bit, able to punish Conrad for all those peaks that he's going to make. He is obviously not close enough at the cap at this point in time to be able to properly block it. I think that job will fall to Monster as Aphrodite getting striked once again, but it's only 100.
Yeah, Monster will block, body block even, which means Liberty will leave. The strike is up, but nobody currently there to pick it up. Maybe Squeezy's gonna go for it now. Oh, Liberty, I mean, he has a strike, so he needs somebody else to take it, unless he wants to use his.
Oh, Profuse picks up another strike, and Liberty seemingly has used his one. That's why he's picking up that one again. Took him a few seconds to realize that he still had one in his pocket. Not entirely sure who he used it on, but still, as long as the HP are the same or in CASHBACK's favor, it should be CASHBACK who have dealt more damage.
Yeah, like I said, CASHBACK still has those 2 strikes as well. Available information as well. I don't really see it from Mafia, to be honest.
I think Mafia, at this point in time, they're just waiting for the timer to run a little bit lower, and then they will try to get a quick kill somewhere with the Foch. That is, I think, their win condition at this point, if they don't manage to catch someone like completely off guard. But it will be hard to do that, because what's waiting for them in the north, it's double Bliskovica that are able to cover the Dravets. What's waiting for them in the south? Only a Foch B, but that one can fall behind the corner of Little, and I think at this point in time, maybe Little should consider falling back a bit, but now we see the push of the Foch Bs, and we can also see who the target is going to be, and that will be Aphrodite in the Bliskavitsa. That is very far forward. Liberty with the Tessak waiting here, and the spray and pray going down immediately. Kona in the Foch B blown up, but Aphrodite is the next one on the chopping block as Squeezy is coming close with the Bliskavitsa. They will try to kill Rexa, but he has been able to go behind a wall here, but Mindbreaker is there with the Bliska to blow up Rexa, and that means tank advantage cashback.
And they still have a strike even on Liberty as well. They have the cap as well. 30 seconds. Monster now getting tracked. No ability on Monster anymore, so there's no tracking for Liberty because of that. But there's a lot of damage in return, though. You know, it's a trade-off. You don't get tracked in one shot, but in return you take a lot of damage. A kill comes out on towards Konrad as well, and what we been expected for the last 2-3 minutes, I think, is what comes to be as well a cashback victory on this Ensk battle. And that gives them 4-1 away from match point.
Yeah, Profus now trying to do what he can, but realistically we all know how this battle is going to end, as it has just ended, and that is with a cashback victory. So for the longest time in this game and in this match, actually, cashback, it felt like kind of trailing a little bit, but now they're up around on Ensk of all things, and now all of a sudden it is Mafia who need to answer.
Yeah, indeed. And Mafia trailing. Cashback really showing a very, very good performance, especially compared to their match against Sicarios.
You think they were holding out on us
No.
a little bit?
No. They're just playing better now. There's no reason why they would hold out, you know?
Yeah, I mean, talking about holding out, there is no reason for the teams to keep anything regarding Dravet's tactics back either. Because as it has been announced publicly, like the Dravets on Monday, so tomorrow, is going to get disabled. So this will be the last time, at least for now, and probably for the future, that we are going to see it in Onslaught. But there's not really any of those kinds of shenanigans going on currently. And here we have the battle results. More kills, obviously, go to Cashback, and that is why they're winning.
Deservedly so as well. This was a. I will say though, I think when Mafia committed on the kill that they made on Barbarian, I don't think that Yusek needed to drive out that far. Like they saw him and they had a strike as well. And what does the strike do? It destroys buildings. I don't think they needed to overcommit. If Barbarian goes behind the building, just strike it and kill him. You know.
I tend to agree. I think after this situation, Mafia were continuously behind, and Cashback were doing a really good job of not overextending anywhere. Like, yeah, of course, Aka at the end of the game, he ends up dead, but he also ends up with around 6.1, 6.2k damage. So he was playing continuously well in this hold down rails position that he was in, and he had good cover from the Bliskavitsas behind him that ended up supporting him and winning the game. So Cashback, I think positionally and with the calls that were being made mid-game, outplaying Mafia a little bit here in this round. But of course Mafia, they see what now happened and they have a bit of time to adjust to how Cashback was just playing. Of course, you can't be sure that Cashback are going to bring a Tessak, for example, again. I think it limits the offensive potential of those Juggernaut TDs by a lot, but you can't be too afraid of it either. At the end of it, it's a nimble light tank, and if you catch it, you can just blow it up.
Well, what do we believe? Split down the middle yet again? That's very possible.
I mean, now we see the lineup, so it would be kind of unfair to make a prediction now, but first of all, let's see the banned tanks, and those are Bliskavitsa and Type 5 Heavy Tank respectively, and so Yusek is playing his signature tank. It is the Mighty Mouse, together with a Foch B, quadruple E4 and Kono, bringing out the Tessak for our spin.
Yeah, Cashback sticking to the Tessak as well. Triple 4 to the U, double Foch B, a Tessak, and a BZ is what they're going to be rolling with.
I'm kind of worried for Mafia's Tesak though, because the tanks that CASHBACK is bringing, none of them are Juggernaut TVs. So yeah, the Tesak of Kono can still get some damage done, but a huge part of why you would pick the Tesak, it's not going to work out. Ooh, the plane goes down on all of those E4s, and to CASHBACK's credit, this first aiming down the rails of Mafia is not really going to achieve much.
It's going to achieve absolutely nothing, and the 430Us are coming in, pushing down the rails. They may end up actually just pushing through, to be honest. Like, look at it. They may want to go for Profuse, bypass A0 altogether, and try and get that singular E4 out of the game.
Oh no. Oh, Barbarian starting to turn around. He doesn't see... What the hell? Is there like a small bushel of grass?
The truck.
Oh, the truck. Oh my god, that's so lucky for Kono.
Yeah,
I mean, or maybe not lucky, but yeah, now he sees the Barbarian running. He even gets a little bit of damage done. Yeah, Barbarian is going to heal some of it back, but that is such a nice engagement from Kono.
Yeah, I mean, Barbarian's probably a little confused to why he couldn't decap the info, but it is what it is, right? Yusek now taking the strike, and Squeezy getting reset by Kono as well from the distance. Liberty going towards zero line, and CASHBACK again grouping up with those 430Us.
Well, are they going to find success with them is the question. There will be a lot of open ground to cover until A0, where Conrad is waiting. Orzhek should also be able to provide some cover fire, but never mind, they're just turning around. They don't really give a damn about the Foch B. Instead, they focus on Profuse, the team captain, getting pushed in his E4. He does have the ability active, so some of the DPM of those 430Us is kind of mitigated, but that is still a lot of shells that are hitting that E4, and Profuse it looks like he's going to go down.
Profuse will go down. Good shot there from Mindbreaker to pick him up. Rexar now got to be careful. Of course, the D4 is a very powerful tank, but there's one thing that it doesn't have, and it's DPM. Liberty in the meantime playing Ring Around the Rosie with that Foch B on the field. That's a bad thing for Mafia. They really need that Foch B in the fight, and Liberty is just being annoying at that part. In return, Barbarian getting pushed together with Little Bit there, extending the game as well. And of course, Yusek is in a mouse, and it takes a long time for the mouse to roll into the battle. Rexar does not get another shot. It's actually Liberty from the field to get the kill. Now Orzhek dying as well, and yeah, they're cleaning up Barbarian probably, but only now does Kono get in the fight, and Barbarian's not going to go down without unleashing hell on Yusek, like Banter says, giving him hell.
Yeah, give him hell is exactly what Kono is doing, but now Barbarian actually gets to the healing part, but not soon enough. Monster to shut it down, but still it is a 5 versus 3 situation. Yusek caught sideways with the mouse as well, so he gets shut down, and between the 5 tanks that are remaining for CASHBACK, there is more than enough HP to tank more than 1, 2, or even 3 shots from Monster. That does get tagged a little bit by that annoying Tesak. Liberty gets another kill to his name, claims another scalp, and now Kono in a 1v1 against the 430U. With the Tesak, I know who's not winning those. Instead, it's going to be Liberty, never mind Mindbreaker to pick it up, and CASHBACK are the ones to reach match point.
Yeah, they are indeed the ones to reach match point. First, it's CASHBACK on 5, Mafia on 3. Now we are going into the map of what key hand comes after this?
I believe it is Sand River.
That's correct.
And I believe tiebreaker is Westfield.
Okay, Kian, relax, buddy. You know, like, you got something right.
I did my homework now. Did they print it out in, like, big pictures for you? No.
Surprise.
Straight no. But yeah, I think it's once again the story, especially taking a look at the Mafia lineup, that if your Tesak is doing top damage, then the battle probably did not go well for your team.
Indeed. But Kono, you know, does well in the sack nonetheless, but you can see the E4s and the mouse kind of struggle with that DPM, right? The 430Us all on top for CASHBACK, every single one of them, because they're only like really fragile if you're able to focus fire on one.
Yeah, and you can see Conrad in the Foch B, he was left to his own devices on the field. The 430Us of CASHBACK did not care at all about the fact that there was a single tank on the field, and it was the correct tactical decision. Instead, You could see a Profuse 2.3. Yeah, it's not the worst result, but it's by far not the best either with that E4. Those E4s were just picked to pieces before they could have more of an impact and actually a meaningful impact on the game and on the outcome of this this map, which instead now puts CASHBACK into a position that they have not been in a long time, because not only is this match, this is actually tournament point. Just one more is required here, but you know what they say, sometimes the last one is the hardest one.
For sure. Who's playing from the west first on Sand River? Do you know?
I can check it if you give me a quick second. So on Sand River, Mafia is going to play from east and CASHBACK is going to play from west first, which is the preferred side. So CASHBACK, I guess, even with a little bit of a bigger match point than we initially anticipated. But regardless, Mafia needs to win from either side anyway if they want to retain the chance of winning.
I mean, yeah, our predictions could all be wrong, you know, but I think that's based upon, you know, CASHBACK really didn't look good last OLS and now they're taking down Mafia. Okay, it's a big swing, you know.
Which is, I guess, a good thing for CASHBACK, because yeah, after not looking too hot in the OLS, I mean, being fifth, yeah, other teams would really like to do that. For CASHBACK, I think the motivation whenever they go into a tournament, it's not being fifth.
Do we think CASHBACK has the capabilities of closing this out?
The answer to that is a definite yes. They do certainly have the capabilities to close it out. Will they? That one remains to be answered. And I think Mafia historically are a pretty good Sand River team. Are they good enough, though, to win against CASHBACK on their match point? And I think already possibly pretty interesting setups. SJRV and K91 getting banned respectively. So Mafia are going to start with an IS-7, CS63, E50M, and Quad 430U.
In return, CASHBACK RHM 268, 140 CS and triple BZ. Looking like a cap fight in a way.
Well,
I mean, the BZs are kind of like they're cap tanks, you know.
I'm a little bit sad because now the 268 from CASHBACK has been switched away from.
Good plane.
Very good plane actually. That's 5 tanks from Mafia immediately revealed. That is also all the DPM, all the firepower that has been laid bare for CASHBACK to look at, as Kono and Liberty are going to see each other out in the open. Liberty with an HE does not manage to actually pen Kono, and Kono is like, don't mind if I do a lonesome RHM all on their own. That is a tasty snack that he would like to get as the engagement on the cap in full brawl.
Yeah, Liberty is just getting chased down by Kono. There's nothing he can do about it. He's basically just dead, and these BZs trying to stay alive on the cap, trying to make sure that everybody gets another volley out. Can they actually make that happen as well? So far, Mafia seem to be going pretty well in this one. The 430U, a good pick against this BZ horde. And the 140 and the Dravets right now just shooting from the distance, but they're not really involved in the battle. Kono's cut Liberty, Barbarian and Mindbreaker are dead as well. And Little is probably going to die against Conrad in the middle as well. And you see Squeezy and Aphrodite, they're not really contributing. They're so far away. They have no real effect on the battle as the capping tanks just get swarmed and overrun by the sheer amounts of DPM. There was never really any hope. CASHBACK had the info, committed to the play, knowing pretty well that they did not have the right tanks for this.
I mean, Profuse theoretically could just step up and over here and stay alive, because those tanks by CASHBACK, they cannot recommit on towards him if they don't want to spend absolutely everything with their HP. Mafia taking double strike at this point, and now the hungry piranhas, the wolves, they are approaching Aphrodite, the last one that remains by CASHBACK, and this first match point for the Ukrainians, it is not getting converted. Instead, Mafia quick and decisive. They get the first required round to stay in the match.
Very weird that CASHBACK set up this way, knowing pretty well what happens. I mean, Liberty's a little unlucky that corner is just like, don't care, but that didn't change the game.
I think that Mafia also got a pretty good idea what CASHBACK were doing, and this is why the CS63 from Mafia was just able to go up, dump over, and just, you know, tear that light tank to pieces. I think from start to finish, this round was kind of a non-starter for CASHBACK in a way, and Mafia just with all the answers required, especially around the cap as well. You can see the BZ75s that were trying to duke it out against the 430Us. I would say they almost got outclassed there.
I don't know about outclass. It's just a bad fight for the BZ. It's not a real challenger that's happening. 2 tanks sniping away versus an E50 that's just popping its ability and shooting back in. I don't know how CASHBACK thought this was gonna go.
Doesn't matter what they thought, how it was going to go. We all know the end result, and that is that it did not go well. So Mafia staying alive currently in a limbo a little bit, as now sides are going to be switched on this possibly still last round of the AMD OSA. Does this match deserve a tiebreaker? I would say so already so far, but CASHBACK, they can still slam that door shut right in Mafia's face.
Oh yeah, I mean, this last round of regular time, it could go either way. I mean, but you'd like to see a lot more from CASHBACK than what you saw in the first round, right?
Yeah, Mafia just mentally ahead in the meta game there. I mean, the fact that the CS63 from Mafia is just really able to dunk on Liberty. I think it's fair to say that, right? He's just like, okay, there is an RHM. Normally, sometimes people stop pressing W in this scenario. Well, what if I just don't? And it felt like for a lot of the Mafia players in this round, they never stopped advancing, you know, never stopped pumping, and CASHBACK just without an answer. They need to find one now, or we're going to tiebreaker.
Mafia going to be going from the west, CASHBACK from the east. One final round of Sand River to decide if CASHBACK is going to take it in regular time, or we're going to see a tiebreaker in which anybody could really take it away. I'm not sure.
At this point in time, all of our predictions are out the window anyway, so I'm just here for it, you know.
I'm just curious to see how it's being approached from both teams. Like we just saw a cap play from both teams. Wouldn't be surprised if now they decide both to play the long game.
It would favor CASHBACK though, I think, because CASHBACK spawning west, I believe. So nominally better side. I don't think they mind going for a long game, but those questions are going to be answered now. The bans are an STRV and a 430U respectively. And Mafia, that is a lot of mini strikes available. A little bit less now that it's a Dravets, an IS-7, CS63, triple K91 and the 140 ditching the light tank altogether.
Yeah, but look what they're playing against. They're playing against an RHM, a Gorilla, double K91, an E50, a Mivi, and a Dravet. So both of them are going for the long game.
Is that the first Gorilla appearance in the playoffs?
In the playoffs? Yeah, that I know of.
Yeah. I think so as well.
No, actually, no. There was a Gorilla yesterday.
All right. Well, let's see.
There was a Gorilla from Cry, I think, from a North American team from Ghost Town on the zero line.
Could be. Ah, yeah. I think I do remember. Well, let's see. The Gorilla obviously starting with 2 charges of the ability. That means it's going to hit like a truck. If it does, we'll have to find out if it will, though. Profuse, though, getting spotted, taking 700. Good plane from Liberty. Actually, that's even more damage into the 140. So the first plans of Mafia kind of getting foiled.
Yeah, triple K91 on the camp, or check Monster and Uzek. We saw W, I think, kind of play like this as well, with K91's Mivi's taken deep. There is mini strikes available, of course, for the side of CASHBACK. They have 2 of them, Squeezy and Aka. And of course, this Gorilla is slowly but surely going to get some angles as well. If these guys decide to leave from the cap, Gorilla will be overlooking. Little doesn't have ability, though.
Well, first of all, CASHBACK need to be able to find a way to reset this, as currently it's 3 seconds left and in comes reset. That one went on Monster.
No more mini strikes.
Yep, Rexa now coming in to drive off Mindbreak a little bit now, though all of the K91s are spotted out. Squeezy with a shot from the side. Little gets spotted. That means no amplified alpha damage, but still a very small crosshair circle as the plane is going to go onto the cap once again. And Squeezy, with those continuous shots from the spawn, is able to generate artillery strike after artillery strike, probably, as Rexa, yes, he's there to annoy Mindbreaker, but Barbarian has been pulled with a DPM E50M.
Yeah, this K91's got to evacuate. Does Little hit a shot? He does. 1,115, I think, on towards Yusek, and now the march down the middle. The march towards the end, even for Mafia. The end for CASHBACK. That will probably result in a victory. They're going on towards Barbarian, but Monster is not making this. Aka was on that ledge the entire time, unspotted, because he took a lot of damage, stuck in a bush, and was then able to get some shots in as well. And this cap attempt from Mafia, it was not it. And CASHBACK, after all the doom that they happened to face during the OLS, not making it to the playoffs, they come into the Onslaught Summer Arena with a task completed as well, as they're gonna be the champions in a fantastic 6-4 victory over Mafia. Who would have expected that?
Certainly not me going into this tournament, but CASHBACK, they are going to be the smiling victors, and I think it speaks to their prowess as well. They've had a streak of drought, so to speak, where seemingly nothing was going their way. Wrong decisions in-game, maybe wrong decisions with roster changes as well. But now here, with adjustments coming out of the OLS 6, they're able to finally bring home another tournament. Liberty, in no small part, responsible for this CASHBACK domination in the tournament. I think at the end it's fair to say, not losing a single match anywhere are CASHBACK, your AMD OSA champions.
Well, very good from CASHBACK. Congratulations. They take a tournament win. Mafia probably not too happy about how they let it slip and slide, and this last battle here was a very hard one for them, you know, trying to cap, but CASHBACK actually picked a lineup very capable of dealing with this. Double mini strike, the gorilla as well for big punishment. Of course, Mafia doesn't have a plane, so they can't do anything about it. He doesn't do that much, but it does what needs to be done. And Squeezy there, 6.3, very good. Very, very good.
And I think he didn't even have a big strike at any point in this game. Like the 1050 strike damage that he has, it was just like ability after ability after ability. And yeah, Little ends up actually not doing that much with the gorilla, but I think the battle was made.
Ночь горит, баз летит. Весь район уже не спит, бит, 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 бит. Я влетаю в клуб неон на коже. Бас качает так, что стало строже. Дым по кругу, свет в глаза. Эта ночь как полоса. Руки выше, звук плотнее. Мы сегодня всех сильнее. Бит по телу, пульс в огне. Бебра снова на волне. Разгоняй, не тормози. Этот вайб уже внутри. 3 секунды и взлетай. Громче бас, давай качай. Бебра, туц, туц, туц. Бас в груди, мой главный курс. Бебра, дикий плюс. Танцпол ловит этот вкус. Бебра, туц, туц, туц. Ночь летит как перегруз. Бебра, свет и звук. Все вокруг идут на круг. Бебра, бас, вверх, разнос. Город плавится в огнях. Мы не спим уже в нулях. Каждый шаг как новый старт. Этот трек ночной азарт. Ты на вайбе, я на бите. Мы как вспышки на орбите. Зал качает, пол дрожит. Бебра снова победит. Тише, бас пропал на миг. Зал застыл, но ждет разрыв. 3, 2, 1, огонь! Снова ночь, снова бой! Бебра, туц, бас груди мой главный курс. Бебра, дикий плюс, танцпол ловит этот вкус. Бебра, свет и звук, все вокруг идут на круг. Это вайб, это хит, Бебра снова зал взрывит.
Нас 200 гривень, а в хахахах трек супер.
Тут, тащите! Тут, тащите! Проверка связи, раз, два, три. Команда в сборе, танки внутри. Барик вперед, кэшбэк зажигай. Тут, погнали, начинай. На карте жара, раскаленный металл. Барик ворвался и фланг задрожал. Башня направо, снаряд уже в путь. Враг захотел убежать, ну и пусть. Кэшбэк на связи, парни, держись. -1, продолжается жизнь. Гусли сбиваем, заходим с боков. Наша команда не знает тормозов. Раз заряжаем, два выезжаем, 3 все команда, их разбираем. Барик вперед, ты сможешь. Кэшбэк тащит, ты можешь. Парни, давайте, тут, пусть содрогается весь этот куст. Барик вперед, не стойте. Кэшбэк врагов накройте. Парни, давайте, тут, мы забираем победный плюс. Тут, важный крути. Тут, в точку лети. Бам, пробитие, бум, уничтожен. Барик вперед, ты все-таки можешь. Кто-то в ангаре уже чай налил. Кто-то от страха компьютер закрыл. В чате противник печатает как. Просто кэшбэк разобрал этот танк. Барик танкует, броня монолит. Каждый снаряд от него рикошетит. Если команда играет стеной, даже рандом становится свой. Раз маскировка, 2 остановка, 3 и по цели летит фугасовка. Барик вперед, ты сможешь. Кэшбэк тащит, ты можешь. Парни, давайте, тут, пусть содрогается весь этот куст. Барик вперед, не стойте. Кэшбэк врагов накройте. Парни, давайте, тут, мы забираем победный плюс. Кто забирает тяжелый фланг? Барик! Кто отправляет противника в ангар? Кэшбэк! Кто здесь сегодня играет на 5? Наша команда, нас не догнать. Лево, право, центр держать. Башню вращать, не отступать. Счет на табло, последний удар. Минус противник. Добро пожаловать в ангар. Барик вперед, ты сможешь. Кэшбэк! Еще поднажмешь. Парни, давайте, тут. Сегодня победу домой унесут. Барик вперед, случай. Тут танки в бой. Тут тащите. Ра-па-па. Тут тащите. Проверка связи. Раз, два, три. Команда в сборе. Танки внутри. Барик вперед, кэшбэк зажигай. Погнали. Начинай. На карте жара, раскаленный металл. Барик ворвался и фланг задрожал. Башни направо, снаряд уже в путь. Враг захотел убежать, ну и пусть. Кэшбэк на связи, парни, держись. -1, продолжается жизнь. Густо сбиваем, заходим с боков. Наша команда не знает тормозов. Раз, заряжаем. Два, выезжаем. Три, всей командой их разбираем. Барик, вперед ты сможешь. Кэшбэк, тащи ты можешь. Парни, давайте. Пусть содрогается весь этот куст. Барик, вперед не стойте. Кэшбэк, врагов накройте. Парни, давайте. Мы забираем победный плюс. Башни крути. В точку лети. Бам, пробитие. Бум, уничтожен. Барик, вперед, ты все-таки можешь. Кто-то в ангаре уже чай налил. Кто-то от страха компьютер закрыл. В чате противник печатает как. Просто кэшбэк разобрал этот танк. Барик танкует, броня монолит. Каждый снаряд от него рикошетит. Если команда играет стеной, даже рандом становится свой. Раз, маскировка. Два, остановка. Три, и по цели летит фугасовка. Барик, вперед ты сможешь. Кэшбэк, тащи ты можешь. Парни, давайте. Пусть содрогается весь этот куст. Барик, вперед не стойте. Кэшбэк, врагов накройте. Парни, давайте. Мы забираем победный плюс. Кто забирает тяжелый фланг? Барик! Кто отправляет противника в ангар? Кэшбэк! Кто здесь сегодня играет на 5? Наша команда, нас не догнать. Лево, право, центр держать. Башню вращать, не отступать. Счет на табло, последний удар. Минус противник. Добро пожаловать в ангар! Барик, вперед ты сможешь. Кэшбэк, еще поднажмешь. Парни, давайте. Сегодня победу домой унесут. Барик, вперед, кэшбэк тащит. Наша команда играет все ярче. Парни, давайте. Победа наша. И это не случайно. Танки в бой. Команда за мной. Барик, кэшбэк, финальный захват. Победа взята. Отправляемся в чат. Бебра. Эй, ты слышишь? Бебра.
Ночь горит, бас летит, весь район уже не спит. Я влетаю в клуб, неон на коже, бас качает так, что стало строже. Дым по кругу, свет в глаза, эта ночь как полоса. Руки выше, звук плотнее, мы сегодня всех сильнее. Бит по телу, пульс в огне, бебра снова на волне. Разгоняй, не тормози, этот вайп уже внутри. 3 секунды и взлетай, громче бас, давай качай. Бебра, туц, бас в груди, мой главный курс. Бебра, дикий плюс, танцпол ловит этот вкус. Бебра, туц, ночь летит как перегруз. Бебра, свет и звук, все вокруг идут на круг. Бебра, 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 бебра. В огнях, мы не спим уже в нулях. Каждый шаг как новый старт. Этот трек ночной азарт. Ты на вайбе, я на бите. Мы как вспышки на орбите. Зал качает пол в 3, 2, 1, огонь. Снова в ночь, снова бой. Туц-туц-туц, бас в груди, мой главный курс. Бебра, дикий плюс, танцпол ловит этот вкус. Бебра, свет и звук, все вокруг идут на круг. Это вайб, это хит, бебра, снова зал взрывают. Бебра, туц-туц-туц, бас в груди, мой главный курс. Бебра, дикий плюс, танцпол ловит этот вкус. Бебра, свет и звук, все вокруг идут на круг. Это вайб, это хит, бебра, снова зал взрывают.